Hi everybody, it's Kenzie Knox and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be painting how to paint a red bridge over a river with some foliage in the background, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel in order to help support this channel. Anywho, grab my size 36 filbert brush. I'm going to begin off listing some paint colors. So we got titanium white, Mars black, lemon yellow, mid yellow, got some greens, it's sugar green, sap green, whatever you have, brilliant purple, sky blue, and light olive green. Grabbing some clean water on your size 36 filbert brush, go ahead and just mix that around your canvas. Then we're going to take some titanium white and some sky blue, and we're going to go ahead and paint in our sky area. Grabbing more titanium white as we work down, just brightening up the bottom portion of the sky that's going towards the horizon. Titanium white on our dirty brush, we're just going to continue dragging that color downwards. Then we're going to tap into some sap green and titanium white, and we're going to start drawing in some landlines. We're just mapping out this phase of the painting, so don't worry too much about this. You just want to add some lines on the left and right and down in the center. Then grab some white and some light olive green, and we're going to tap in some foliage using that large size 36 filbert brush. You can use any large filbert brush you'd like. Then we're going to take some Mars black, and some primary yellow, and we're going to create this olivey green color. We're going to add in some titanium white to make it a little bit lighter in shade so that it's in the background. And then we're just going to tap this over the area that we added in that light olive green and titanium white color. I decided to switch over to a bristle brush, so I'm grabbing my size 16 filbert brush. It's a bristle brush, and it helps create a wonderful look of foliage. So if you don't have this, you can use a mop brush, or you can use a filbert brush, whatever paintbrush you are comfortable with. We're going to take this over to the other side and just tap in some foliage over there. Then we're going to take some light olive green with titanium white and add in some additional foliage highlights to this area. If you notice, the side on the left is a little bit too full, so I'm going back in with some sky blue color, trying to match the shade of the sky, and I'm just going to tap in some sky areas in between some of the foliage. This probably would have worked better if my paint were dry, but this is one little trick that you'll learn along the way that artists use. Like if they over saturate an area with paint, you can go back over it and add in some sky or like some background color just to make it look a little bit better. Going back in with our light olive green and titanium white, we're going to add in some more foliage below this area. Continue tapping in this area until you're satisfied with the coverage. These will be several different bushes, so don't worry too much about it. Grabbing some more of that titanium white and light olive green, we're going to add another little bush to the far right, and then just fill in some of the areas in the center of the canvas. Go ahead and grab some more white into that color. We're just going to add some more highlights over here on the left side. Then we're going to grab our light olive green and add in some more saturated areas in these bushes. We're going to do the same thing on the other side as well. Try not to get too carried away with this. Then we're going to tap into our sap green or hooker's green and add a little bit of green foliage to some of these areas. That will be the trees or bushes in the mid-ground to foreground area. I guess this would be the mid-ground area. That same green color, we're just going to keep tapping in some foliage back here. Bring it down slightly. This will be a large bush traveling from the right to about center area of the canvas. Switching over to my size 2 fan brush, we're going to tap into some black and some yellow again and make that olivey color shade. We're going to make a dark olive shade to begin off with, and then we'll add some highlights along the way. So now we're just going to add a little evergreen tree just down the center, and this is just a tap 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 sort of texture. Then we're going to add some titanium white to that color and add a little bit of a highlight or a mid-tone to it before adding our final highlight. Then taking some light olive green, titanium white, we'll just go in with our final highlight. And depending on where your sun is going to be, I guess mine will be on the left side, we're going to focus the light on this area. Dipping into some hooker's green, we're going to tap in another bush over here or a tree. So I am just taking my fan brush and going in all sorts of different directions to make that foliage just shoot out in every direction there is. Basically looks like a ball of leaves, I guess you could say. Once you're satisfied with that, go ahead and take your light olive green and titanium white color and highlight that in a bit, just on the left side. And then we're going to take some highlights into our little tree areas over here, or our bushel area, and just highlight this little region over here. Add some white to your light olive green. Add some more highlights to the trees. We're just building up our background, so it doesn't have to be perfect at all. We'll be covering a lot of this up with the bridge, and then we'll be adding in some additional details too. Grabbing some yellow and some titanium white, we're going back over some of these areas to re-highlight them. Keep in mind that we want the left side of the canvas to be the brightest portion. Taking some white, now we're going to add in some white little bushes, I guess you could say. So we want these to be very streaky. We want these to be little lines of almost grass-like appearance. But before starting that off, or I guess after starting that off, we're going to take that color, mix it up with some of that sky blue, and try to go over that sky area again. And we're just going to brighten up this area just a smidgen, because it should be a little bit brighter on this side than on the far right side. And then we'll tap back over it with some foliage. So dipping back into our light olive green and a little bit of titanium white, we're just going to add some more foliage back here. Fan brush, dip into a little bit of that light olive green and add in some additional foliage in the background to add that foliage in that we just basically covered up. Taking some brilliant purple and titanium white, I'm just going to add some purple foliage in the very far background. So the farther back you go, the more blue or purple a shade will become. So think about mountains. Those are very far away. Those are tended to be purple or blue in shade. So now we're going to add some white to that color, and we're just going to add some highlighted trees over here. Switching over to my size 10 flat brush, we're going to go ahead and dip into some of that light olive green and titanium white and just recreate our landlines. And then we're going to take some Hooker's green, and we're just going to line the grass lines that are along the land where there would be shadows. And then we're going to create a little grassland right there. Remember that we're just mapping out most of these areas right now. We'll be adding in texture afterwards. Grabbing some light olive green, we're just going to lighten up some of the hill regions over here a little bit more. And then maybe we'll draw in our little landline. So right there is just showing you where I want the bridge to be. So I'm just going to drag this little area down. Then I'm going to grab my Hooker's green and I'm going to draw out the area underneath the bridge. So this will be the grassy area below the bridge. So this will be a little bit darker in each color. And maybe it's up on a hill. Now I'm going to take some titanium white with some Hooker's green, create a lighter green shade, and then I'm going to just darken up some of the grass lines along the edge of the water again that are coming down the hill. Switching over to my size 2 fan brush, grabbing some black and some yellow. I'm going to go back in and add some deeper colors to the bushes in the background. I'm going to move this fan brush all sorts of different directions, not just one particular direction, but all over the place. I'm going to add it to this little tree over here too. Then I'm going to switch over to my flat brush again, grab some white and some raw umber, and I'm going to create a little like hidden garden area, I guess, over here with a little path coming out. Once you're satisfied with that, rinse that off, grab some titanium white, and we're just going to add some stones along the waterway. So the section that we haven't painted in is mostly going to be water, besides our little bridge that we need to draw in, but just keep that in mind. So now I'm taking that olivey color again, and I'm just going to draw up some grasses. So I'm just using a flat brush to do this. You can use a liner brush, a round brush, whatever you're comfortable with. And then I'm going to go in with some Hooker's green and just add some more green hue to that area. Just sticking with my lines. Taking some more Hooker's green, I'm going to add some grassy areas over here as well. Then I'm going to go to my size 1 round brush and I'm going to start drawing in some individual grasses in front of this tree. And over in the grassy area. Next, grabbing some titanium white on my little round brush, I'm just going to add in some additional twigs. That will stand out a little bit more with the white, and then add in some more rocks in the water. Grab some more white with my fan brush, spreading out my bristle so it makes lots of lines. And we're going to add in this bush over here that is just full of white little branches. Then I'm going to take my little liner brush and add individual lines, making them more distinct. You can add as many or as little of these as you want. They are in the background, so they do not need to be as detailed as I'm making them. I just kind of got in the moment. Once you're satisfied with that bush, go ahead and add aqua green and turquoise blue to your palette and grab some turquoise blue, and we're going to start painting in our little pond area. Begin with turquoise blue in the very background, and then dipping into some aqua green just to highlight it a bit, and even some titanium white and aqua green, just add some water lines in there. As the water gets closer to us, it'll appear to be more green in color because that'll be what it is reflecting. Again, going back to the white, I'm adding in some more branches here. This is actually a really pretty branch or bush, I think. Okay, so switching back to my fan brush, grabbing some light olive green, I'm just going to tap in some grassy areas over here. Just tap, 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 creating some texture. Grabbing some white with some light olive green, adding that highlight to this grassy region over here. And a little bit back here. And a little bit over here. Then we're going to grab some hooker's green with titanium white and add in some grass over here. And then we're just going down with solid hooker's green or sap green, whatever green you have is fine. And then we're going to add some grass over here too. Just tap, 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 tap. It's not so close to us that we can see the texture, but a little bit of texture is always good. Grab some light olive green, titanium white, and now we're just going to highlight some of these regions. Now we're going to switch to our size 1 round brush, grab some raw umber, and we're going to begin painting in the tree trunk of this bush over here. So this is actually a tree. Sorry, I should have mentioned that before. So we're just going to draw down a few lines here and there, and then a crooked little trunk. Please remember that you can speed up this video or slow it down using the little gear icon in the YouTube upper right hand corner. You can also pause the video if needed at any point in time. Then we're going to add another tree trunk in the background. Once you're satisfied with your tree trunks, add some titanium white to your raw umber, and we're going to add some highlights to our tree trunks. I tried to make my tree trunks a little bit twisty, but it's a little bit difficult when you're working on a smaller canvas. I'm working on 11 by 14 flat panel canvas, so it doesn't give me that much room to add that much detail, but you can add a little bit of detail. Just make sure that you're highlighting the left side of the branches. Once you're done with that, we're going to go back to our titanium white on our brush and draw in another little white bush over here. Just very quickly with our little size 1 round brush. You can use your liner brush if you're more comfortable with that, or even a flat brush, or angular brush, whatever you're comfortable with. Then we're going to take some black and some yellow and create a lighter olive green shade, add a little titanium white to it as well. And then we're going to take this color and we're going to just add in some foliage in those areas that we haven't filled in yet. Gray, I think this is green gray to our palette. And this is the color I had sitting around I never really used, so I decided to use it. You can use any gray, like white and black. Mix that color up. And we're just going on the underside and left side of the rocks. Just shadowing them in a bit. Then we're going to take some turquoise and aqua and start painting in our little pond area again. Grabbing some aqua now, getting a little closer to the shoreline. We'll lighten this up a little bit later too. Grab some white, and then we'll add in our water lines, which is quite difficult when the paint is wet, so don't worry about too much. Then we're going to take our Acrylic green, add in some little lines there. We'll fix that in a minute, but grabbing our little olive green with black and yellow, we're just going to add in some zigzag lines here. Keep your water lines horizontal. I think that's my best advice. Short and horizontal. The farther back they are, the skinnier and shorter they'll be. The closer they are to you, the longer they will be. They will always stay horizontal. So go ahead and add some of this in here, and we're adding green in because the foliage is green. So wherever we are reflecting what is on the ground into the water. So right now, this green area that we're painting in is actually the tree, the evergreen tree. So pull down, then sweep side to side, and that should give you the outline of the tree. And then we'll go down along the grass lines and pull that down and sweep sideways very gently, and that will help us create that reflection as well. Grabbing some more black and yellow to create that like dark olivey green color. We're going to go along the shoreline just to darken that up a bit and pull that out horizontally as well. The majority of our water will probably be this color, to be honest with you. So we're just going to scumble some of this color over to the far right. And then we're going to go into some titanium white because that bush right there is white. So we're just going to pull down some lines and then pull that horizontally. Grabbing some light olive green and titanium white, we're going to just tap in some more lines. Of course, you can do these just like horizontal lines, but I just wanted to add some texture and then pull them a bit. Adding a little bit more grass to the little pond area right there. Using a little bit of light olive green. I'm going to go along the little areas with some light olive green. Grab some white with some light olive green, and we're just going to highlight some areas. Grabbing some more light olive green, highlighting again some areas. Next, we're going to add some crimson red and scarlet red to our palette. As well, and taking that burnt sienna with a little flat brush that we have, we're going to draw up the posts of the bridge that we're going to be creating. We can also grab some gray. We're going to create a little cement little platform. So draw like a little straight platform that bends down slightly. Maybe it goes all the way across. I'm not really sure, like straight across. And then from there, it's going to go down slightly. And then we're going to switch over to our size 1 round brush and grab a little bit of black with some gray in there. And we're just going to shadow in some of this area. So underneath the block. And then on the bottom of the block. And a little bit coming down from the top area. Some crimson red, or actually some burnt sienna. We're going to start drawing in our post. Burnt sienna is a great color because it's easy to cover, so don't be worried about your burnt sienna. We're going to add a post on both sides of our bridge. That'll be the beginning and end of it. And then we're going to start drawing in the arc over the little lake area or the pond area. And that'll be our little bottom side. And then we're going to draw in this other little part of it. That will be our entire bridge. So that will be the thickness of the bottom of the bridge. Once you're comfortable with that, go ahead and take some some crimson red and draw in your little posts. And then draw up the bridge. Grab some scarlet red, draw in that bridge. And then thickening it up a bit, taking some more scarlet red and just drawing that over. That will be the side of our bridge. Then taking some crimson red, we'll be drawing the other side of the bridge that we can just see on the right side. And we'll be adding some more color to this to make it much more apparent that it's different different areas. Grabbing some crimson red, I'm going over these little spokes again, the poles at the beginning and end of the bridge, and then painting in the bridge again with some scarlet red. Taking my little size 6 flat brush, grabbing some scarlet red, I'm just going to highlight these posts again, going up, and adding some more red to the bridge itself. Grabbing some crimson red and darkening in that other side of the bridge. Then going back in with some scarlet red. And we're going to add some posts. So there'll be, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4 big posts. So 2 at the end, 2 in the middle. And then we'll have a few little smaller posts. And you will be able to see the posts on the other side of the bridge, so don't forget about adding those. So then there'll be little posts, like one little post here. And then a little post over here. And don't forget, you'll see it on both sides. You got to add 2. And then we're going to draw the top of the bridge. So the top of the bridge is going to hit basically the tops of each of the little poles that we created. And then we're going to draw the other side in as well. Keeping that underneath for the most part. And then crossing over the top of it. And then ending on top of the other pole. Got more sort of scarlet red. I'm going to just go over those lines once again. Then we'll add in the little posts that are in the middle as well. Don't forget, you can see 2 of them. And then we're going to start on the middle post. So there'll be several posts, or several rails, I guess you could say, per side of the bridge. Just try to keep track of where your rails are. So the front rails will be crimson red or scarlet red, and then the back rails will be more like the crimson red color. Again, going over some of these with crimson red, the ones facing us. Then we can add a little crimson red to the other side as well for a highlight on the left side. Then underneath we're going to draw out a little line. And this color will be that crimson red, so we're going to draw a line that goes slightly diagonal up, and then it's going to curve under the bridge. We can continue that about a little bit over halfway around the bridge on the underside. Then we're going to grab some black, and we're just going to separate these 2 areas of the bridge, the left side from the right side, on the back end of the right end of the bridge. Grabbing a little bit more black, we're going to go back under the bridge just to darken that up a bit. Add some more red, crimson red, or scarlet red, I'm so sorry, scarlet red. Keeping that front of the bridge really bright and brilliant, and we'll be going over this with fluorescent red or neon red or luminous red afterwards. Don't worry too much about this, but we're just trying to add as much highlight as possible. Grabbing some white and some black, we're going to add some gray just a little bit under the bridge, and then we're going to tap in some black and a little bit of red, scarlet red, and we're going to start doing the reflections in the water. So again, we're going to pull our line vertically down and then pull it out softly horizontally. And now we're going to take that red and black color and paint over our bridge, trying to keep our lines horizontal as much as possible. Taking some scarlet red, we're just going to draw in a little zigzag for the poles. And then as well as the top of the bridge and the bottom of the bridge, whatever you want to call it. Take some crimson red. I'm going to darken in some areas to fill in the bridge. I think you guys will really be satisfied with the end of this painting. Please let me know how you're doing. I hope you guys are doing okay and you're following along all right. Please feel free to leave a comment or suggestion in the comments. I would love to hear back from you guys to see how your paintings are coming out. If you have any suggestions for paintings you'd like me to paint, please let me know. Continuing in with red and crimson red and blacks, we're just painting in the bridge and the shadows. Switching over to a little flat brush or filbert brush, I'm going to go back into some green and we're going to create some reflections in this area. So this is the reflections of the grasses, and then up top it could be the reflection of that tree. And we're just going to start in with hunter green to make it easy. And then grabbing some titanium white, we're just going to draw the reflection of those white bushes back there. Then grab a little bit more red and we're going to come in under the bridge. Grab some gray and we're just going to add in some rocks over here. And then we're going to cover them up, highlight them with some white too. Then we're going to add some white and add the highlight to them. Grabbing some gray and some black, we're going to darken that up a bit. And we're going to go under the rocks and just create a little bit of a shadow. And then taking some gray, we're just going to pull down some lines underneath the rock to create a reflection. So pull down the lines vertically and then softly pull them horizontally. Then we're going to go back in to our little bit of white and add that little highlight to the top of the rock. So again, pull down vertically and then slightly move that brush along, like barely touching the canvas horizontally. Grabbing some more green, we're going to go back in and add in our foliage or our grasses, the reflection for those areas. Then we're going to grab some yellow and black and add that dark area back in, that little olive green color. Keeping the sides and the bottom of the painting dark creates like a vignette-like effect, so keep your eyes towards the center of the canvas. Then I'm going to take this color and go in towards the center of the canvas because that's where that tree is. So the tree isn't green, it's actually like that olive shade, so keep that in mind. Grabbing some more green, we're just going to mix up some colors over here. Grab some yellow and some olive, light olive green, and we're just going to paint in this grassy area over here. Grab some white, some lime green, some yellow, and then just paint this in to match the grass area. We will be painting in the tree, so don't worry too much about that. Just fill this area in. Going back to that Hooker's green, we're going to paint in some more green areas here. Spread that out. Grab some titanium white for those white bushes. Pull that out. Grab some titanium white and some yellow. Just highlight that a bit. And some other areas as well. And then we're going to start in on our grass again, just blending that out a bit. Then I'm going to grab some more green, add in some green along the grass line. Again, pulling vertically and then horizontally. Grabbing some more green, we're going to add some more of this over here. More yellow, green, and black. Create that dark olive green shade, add that above the bridge. And a little bit along the landline, just create a darker landline. Fill in the rest of that area of the water. Going over some of that green area too. And then the rest of the bridge area. Grab some more white, highlight some of this area again for that little white tree thing. And then we can add some green in for the foliage in the background. Adding in some little green highlights here and there. for the trees in the very far distance, and then those grasses too beyond the tree. Then we're taking some more red, adding some more reds in here for the posts. This red really complements the greens in our painting, and I think it really came out real nice. I'm liking this painting so far, and I hope you guys are too. Again, just pull and then pull a line straight down, then horizontally move the color around. We can go back up and highlight a little region. I think I'm adding little tops to the bridge, like the little extension posts. Add some more crimson red, or not crimson, scarlet red, I'm sorry. Add more scarlet red to your painting to highlight these areas once again. You'd be surprised how bright you can get these posts to be. So highlighting the left side of the post because that's where the sun is coming from. And then we'll go over the little railings too. Oh, now we're going over the railings. Now we can add another railing for the back side that I think we missed out on. But that's okay. There's lots of railings and stuff going on here. It's not a big deal. Grab me a little bit of yellow and light olive green and titanium white. We're just going to add in a little pathway from the bridge over to the grassy area. So I'm just adding a little bit of dark green to just outline that area. Shadow in some grassy regions. And then the grassy regions in front of the path too. Then we're going to take some black and we're just going to shadow in underneath the bridge area, those little cement patio areas. So to the back side and underneath it. And then we're going to take some white and some gray and we're just going to highlight the top of it. Now we're going in with our luminous red and we're going to highlight the very specific sections that are super illuminated, super highlighted. This color is fantastic for highlighting areas when you're using red. I strongly suggest these are by Holbein. Their color fastness is remarkable and their coverage is fantastic. They are a bit pricey but worth every penny. I typically work with Liquitex Basics, but I found their fluorescent colors didn't work that well, so I eventually heard about Holbein, and they're about $60 for a set of 6 colors, I believe, maybe 5 colors, but they're fantastic colors and you will love them. So I'm just highlighting the railings on the left side, the railings mainly on the top and maybe in the middle too. And then we'll highlight the side of the bridge that's facing us as well. Remember, acrylics are forgiving. If you do mess up, you can take your brush and just scumble out the areas that you messed up as long as the background is dry. Once you're done with that, we're going to just highlight the little area of the bridge that's facing us. Not the entire way, but most of it. So up to about halfway. And then we're going to stop. We're going to continue on the top of the bridge. There's going to be a little lip right there. You can see we're already creating it. Then go back over the rails again just to highlight those again. You do need numerous layers of these luminous colors in order for them to stay luminous. Then we're going to add some of this luminous red into the water just to highlight some of these sections a little bit more. And once you're done with the luminous red, take some gray, and we're just going to go slightly under the bridge just to reflect that little gray portion under the bridge. Then we go back into our hunter green and add some grass, dark grass along the water line. Switching over to my size 6 flat brush, we are going to tap into some titanium white, and we're just going to add a little bit of a highlight to the top of the railings. If you don't feel like adding this, you do not have to. I think the neon or fluorescent red colors were plenty enough, but just in case, I just want to add this, see if it added something. Honestly, I think your painting is pretty much almost done. There are a few other things that you have to do if you would like, which is to add the tree trunks to the tree and a little bit more of that tree foliage, but that's just my point of view. But adding some white actually does add a little something, a little bit more of a highlight to the bridge, segregates the areas a bit, and just adds something. Tapping into some titanium white, we're just going to highlight this little platform over here and a little bit along the walkway at the end of the little bridge. Then we're going to take some hunter green, add some more green along the water line. I thought the rocks took up a little bit too much room. Then we're going to take some more green and yellow and just add in some more water lines here. Then we're going to take some dioxazine purple. Oh, I'm sorry, raw umber, and draw in our little tree stumps. Keep these very ziggy wobbly, whatever you want to call them, crisscrossy. And then we can add some more greens and some more yellows and black for that olivey green color, just to darken it up a bit. We're almost done here. Super exciting. I hope you really have enjoyed this painting. I love this painting and the way it came out, and I really hope you do too. We're just going around adding some more bright greens, highlighting up a bit with some lime green and titanium white. And then we're going to go back in with some yellows and titanium white, adding in some white along the shoreline. So you want to add some water lines in your paintings, which tend to live along the shorelines. They're just like water lines, like white little lines that go horizontally from the shore. And then they go all over the painting too. So remember keeping them thinner, closer together, far away, and then farther apart and longer in the front. But it's really up to you, depending on how far away you want your paint. Like the perspective is completely up to you. So there's no wrong way to do this. Just enjoy yourself, lay back, relax. And remember, you can slow this video down. There's no need to speed it up or watch it at this pace. This pace is a little bit for faster painters. Now taking some crimson red with a little bit of black, we're going to add the little lip to the bridge. And then we're just going to shadow in this little area over here. And then over here too. Put that same color. I'm going to take some white. And we're just going to highlight a little bit more of that tree and then add that into the water. And at that point we're done. So thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Please remember to subscribe and to like my video. If you happen to really enjoy my YouTube tutorials, be sure to click the bell in the upper area somewhere up on the YouTube screen, and it will notify you of any time I release a new YouTube acrylic painting tutorial. So until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Okay, bye!